Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we are doing my Bath & Body Works January release dates, timelines, and spoilers. I know we're still in the midst of the winter SAS, but we already have started to get a lot of good information as to what is coming early in 2026. We're talking signature line, Valentine's Day collection, everyday luxuries, new aromatherapy, returning fragrances. A lot of information that I want to get out there as early as possible, as they might sound a bit more interesting than what's available at SAS. So I want to make sure that regardless of what your budget is, you're able to get exactly what you want and have awareness as to what's coming. That being said, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. We do all things body care on my channel. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's dive right on into the video. All right, you guys, I'm going to sit on this side of the screen and put some images up right here, but all of this information was sourced off lifeinsidethepage.blogspot.com. Tess runs an absolutely wonderful Bath & Body Works blog, and it really has anything. So if you're interested in sales or spoilers or archives or body care or candles or wallflowers or car fragrance holders, really anything Bath & Body Works, her blog has all the information about it. I cannot recommend it enough. And as always, I will have a link to the direct post that I was looking at for this video in the description box down below if you guys would like to learn more. But that being said, let's start talking about January of 2026. And I think the best place to start is what happened in January of 2025. And do we see any correlation with this happening again in January 2026? So the first thing that we saw in January of 2025, and this is something we see every January, is going to be the latter half of the Bath & Body Works winter semi-annual sale. So the winter semi-annual sale started on December 26th, and it will run until supplies last. And usually that's around like the end of the first week to the end of the second week of January. That's something that we saw in 2025, and that's definitely the first thing that we're going to see in January of 2026. So if really you have any interest in the semi-annual sale body care, maybe you have interest in the accessories or the fragrance holders or really anything, and you don't want to pay a 50% off rate, you want to pay like the 75% off rate, usually that second week of January is when everything drops down to 75% off. A lot of it's out of stock, but you might be able to find a couple of bits and bobs. That's going to really be the wrap up of the winter semi-annual sale. That's the first thing that we're going to see happen in January of 2026. Now, the second thing that we saw in January of 2025 is going to be a new round of the everyday luxuries. If you're unfamiliar with the everyday luxuries, really Bath & Body Works is just making dupes of higher end fragrances. So they're taking high end or luxury fragrances and making them more everyday or accessible by producing them in the Bath & Body Works format. So whether it's in the body creams, the body washes, the fine fragrance mist, usually it's the fine fragrance mist. That's what it was for a while. And then they started adding on a couple more product types. So we ended up with the fine fragrance mist, the body creams, the body washes, as well as the mini perfume sprays for both Everyday Luxuries launches this year. So that was very exciting. In 2026, it does look like we're going to be getting some more Everyday Luxuries, and Life Inside the Page does have some of the names. Now, we don't have the scent notes yet, and usually I use a combination of the name and the scent notes to guess what the higher end fragrance is, because the name of the Bath & Body Works version always has some connection to the higher end fragrance. Most notably, something that we saw as part of the fall trio of Everyday Luxuries, the Inner Angel fragrance had the exact same and very similar scent notes to Kilian's Angel Share, which is a very high-end perfume. So you can always trace back using the scent notes and the fragrance name. We just have the fragrance name, so I feel like it's going to be a little bit ambiguous as of now, but as always, I'll definitely be making a video when I get more information about the scent notes, what the Everyday Luxuries could be a dupe of. But the five that I believe are going to be new are going to be Always Fleur, Eau de Coconut, Hello Happiness, Love Unleash, and Salted Shorelines. And it looks like Pink Obsessed will be making a return. That is one that we saw earlier this year, and I believe last year as well. However, though, for this line of body care, it does say Fine Fragrance Mist and Body Cream. So I don't know if it's just going to be those two product types, or they're going to surprise us and do body washes as well. But it looks like, and according to the lifeinsidethepage.blogspot.com post I'm looking at, it's just going to be the Fine Fragrance Mist and the body cream, so something to definitely keep in mind. So far it looks like 2025 and 2026 are absolute twins. So let's keep on moving in what we have next. So the next thing that we saw in 2025 was going to be a collaboration. This was still very exciting because Bath & Body Works was still fairly fresh, their collaborations. We ended up getting a lot more collaborations this year, just kind of throughout the year. So I feel like they weren't as exciting like at the end of the year as they were in January, because we were still like, okay, Bath & Body Works has done like 4 collaborations. Are we going to see any in 2025? So that was definitely a pleasant surprise to get the Bath & Body Works X Sweethearts collaboration, and we got that Forever Sweet fragrance, which if you're unfamiliar with that one, it was like a cotton candy grape soda, really light, powdery, sugary grape candy type of fragrance. I really enjoyed that one. I have it in the mini fine fragrance mist, and then my sister actually gave her set of the body wash and the body lotion in the full size to me, so I will definitely be using that for Valentine's Day of 2026. But we got that collaboration in January of 2025. Do I think we're going to see a collaboration in January of 2026? It's up in the air. It's up for debate, and honestly, I say that for a couple of reasons. Now, if you remember when Bath & Body Works first started doing collaborations, I believe the first collaboration they did was with Bridgerton. I think that was the first one. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Bridgerton. The Bridgerton collaboration did very well. Another collaboration that we saw do extremely well was the Emily in Paris collaboration. A lot of people really enjoyed that one. The Stranger Things collaboration didn't do as well just because of the nature of the fragrances. There also really wasn't any body care. It was just the candles and the hand soaps. That one I feel like I really can't like equate to some of the other collaborations. And then really all of 2025 was like the year of Disney when it came to collaborations at Bath & Body Works. Why I'm on the fence as to if we're going to see a collaboration in 2026, specifically January, is because I'm unsure of Bath & Body Works contracts with different brands at this time. So in January of 2025, we got the Bath & Body Works X Sweethearts collaboration, and then we also got some Disney, and then at the end of the year, we got the Bath & Body Works X Milk Bar collaboration. I'm not sure if Disney has any kind of contract with Bath & Body Works as to you have to do a collaboration with us every couple of months. I believe if you would do the timing of the Disney Princesses collection, and then you would do the Disney Villains collection, and I feel like now in January might be the time they would be up contractually for another collaboration. I have no idea the contract. I have no idea if that's the case. So I don't know if they might be obligated to do a Disney collaboration at this time. I don't know if no contract exists and that was just for 2025 and they're moving on to other brands. Although what I would say in terms of collaborations in January of 2026, I'm leaning towards no, simply because we had a pretty big successful collaboration with the Milk Bar stuff. So we're kind of just like riding that high out right now. And I'm not exactly sure if they want to invest in a collaboration knowing that Valentine's Day is coming up. I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Bath & Body Works X Sweethearts. Now, if they did like a Bath & Body Works X Dove Chocolate and did like an entire chocolate line, maybe you might have people on the edge of your seats. I don't know if they're going to do something like that. That might be a little bit bold. I also don't know what their contracts look like. So as far as collaborations in 2026, I'm going to vote no. Again, I have no idea. I have no idea what their contracts look like. I'm not employed there. I'm not speaking on behalf of them. These are all my personal opinions and my research, but I'm going to say no. I would love to see collaboration. I'd love it to be super interesting and fun and really go along with kind of Valentine's Day and winter. I can't guarantee that though, and I don't think that's going to happen. So that really wraps up what we saw for collaborations wise in 2025 and what I think is going to happen in 2026. But the next thing that we saw in 2025 was, of course, the Valentine's Day collection. Now, the Valentine's Day collection largely previewed in January. It ran a little bit into February, and then it was kind of phased out, I want to say by like March. My store pretty much was completely out of all of Valentine's Day stuff. And the two big Valentine's Day fragrances we got last year and also the year before was the Strawberry Pound Cake fragrance, which is an all-time kind of classic at Bath & Body Works, as well as Sweetheart Cherry. So that's what we got in 2025. And it looks like that is what we will be getting again in 2026. So according to Life Inside the Page, on Valentine's Day, she has Strawberry Pound Cake, she has Sweetheart Cherry, and then also the aromatherapy Aromatherapy Rose Vanilla Inspire Love, which we got last year, or I keep saying last year, which we got this year in 2025. It looks like that will also be making a return for Bath & Body Works Valentine's Day of 2026. I'm going to do an entire video on the Valentine's Day spoilers. It looks like we're also supposed to be getting some other refreshes and products like that. Not anything necessarily new, so I do want to save that for that video, but I definitely think that we can expect Valentine's Day in January of 2026 to really match that of what we saw in January of 2025. Now, the last thing that we saw in January of 2025, and this was really at the latter half of January, was going to be that Scent Lab collection of a bunch of the mini fine fragrance mists. A lot of these were single, I think all of them are single note fine fragrance mists, and the entire design of this was basically take these scents and use them as layering, use them together to create your own scents. They're not really supposed to be worn separately, but you can, but they were designed as almost like this Scent Lab layer and mix and kind of design your own. These originally just debuted in certain test stores and were available online, and that honestly led to a lot of people either one, forgetting about them, two, never purchasing them because they couldn't smell them in person, or they couldn't like pick them up in store and have to pay for the shipping, and three, it was just the minis and it was just fine fragrance mist. And usually when it comes to fragrance, people at least want a full size of something, or if they are going to buy the minis, they're using it in terms of like a set or for traveling, and just having a one-off fine fragrance mist really wasn't appealing to a lot of people. So I can definitely understand why that collection probably didn't have the success that they maybe thought it would. I do believe that Scent Lab, the mini fine fragrance mists, are now available in pretty much every single store. The two stores that are around me have the collection, so I think you can now get your hands on them, but that was the last thing that we saw in January of 2025. Do I think they're going to replicate something like that in January 2026? Again, we could always be surprised, but I don't think so. I think that was sort of a one-off. I think they're kind of like limited edition drops or limited stores or test store drops are kind of becoming more far and few between, simply because people aren't even really learning about the products because they can't see them in their store. And again, because they're online exclusives, people don't want to pay for the shipping, especially when they're blind buying things that they haven't smelled before. This is also something that we saw with the Apothecary line, and you guys might be like, what even is that? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. The Apothecary line was sort of like a branch off the Aromatherapy line that they did as a part of like a spooky Halloween potion type of collection. There were two fragrances. I never heard anyone talk about them. Honestly, I think I'm one of the very few people on YouTube that actually made a video about them because I saw them in stores. I never heard anybody talk about them. Honestly, didn't even see them at semi-annual sale. Saw them for maybe like a month or two and then completely gone off the shelf. So I don't exactly know what happened with that collection, but it's a very similar thing to what we saw with the Scent Lab collection. So January 2026, very long story short, I don't think we're going to see another like Scent Lab collection or a Scent Lab part 2. Again, I could absolutely be surprised, but just given the success and kind of where it ended up, I don't think they would want to replicate that, understanding what happened in 2025. Now, to round out this video, I would like to do my wish list of items to see in January of 2026. I always throw a wish list in there in case Bath & Body Works happens to be watching this video, but I think something that so many people would like to see is if they are going to do a collaboration, do something super unique. I would love like a box of chocolates. It could be a collaboration. It could just be a separate collection. I would love a more expanded Valentine's Day collection. I think we all would. And it would be a box of chocolates collection. So you have white chocolate, you have chocolate cherry, you have dark chocolate, you have just like toffee caramel. Like, I think that would be super fun. I think a lot of people need something new, need something different. So that would be something I would suggest and something that would be a wish list item. Another wish list item for me would be a January cozy vibes bringbacks collection. Now, I know you guys aren't a fan of the bringbacks, and I know I definitely have voiced that I'm kind of sick of the bringbacks unless it's something super good. So what would I bring back? I would bring back Sleigh Ride and Snuggles. I would bring back Fireside Flurries. I would bring back even like Santa's Blueberry Shortbread, but rename it something else. I would do some of those iconic wintertime fragrances that just haven't been brought back out but are perfect for January. I would love to do like a cuddle, like almost not like a sweater design, but maybe like a blanket design, or like kind of like snowflakes and that kind of design on the bottles. I think a lot of people would really enjoy that, and it's still keeping with winter. We are still in winter. At least I am still in winter. I am not like mentally ready for Easter body care and tropical. Like, don't even get me started on tropical yet. I know it's coming, but like let's stick with winter for a while. So I would love to see like a chocolate collection. Could be a collaboration, could not. So a new signature collection. I'd also love to see like a winter bring back, something cozy, cuddly, something fun like that. I think that would be super fun. My last wish list item. Hear me out on this one, you guys. I think this is some of you guys might love this idea. Some of you guys might absolutely be like, I would never be interested in something like that. I think we need a new signature line fragrance. I think we need one. I don't know what it would be, but I think we need a new one that is going to stay. That is not platinum, that is not perfect in pink, that is not 1,000 wishes, that is not sweetest song and kind of all those scent families. I think we need a true perfume style fragrance that is year round. I just think we're missing it. I think the only thing that we have that is somewhat perfumey is In the Stars. I think In the Stars smells like kind of your basic perfume, kind of that like high alcohol. Just when you think of the idea of perfume, it just smells perfumey. That's In the Stars for me. Into the Night, kinda, not really, but I feel like we are just lacking a true generic everyday perfume fragrance. I think we need a new signature line. I think that's maybe what they tried to do with Touch of Gold. Didn't work for me, didn't work for a lot of people. I would love to see a new signature line type of fragrance. Now, there's definitely some that I think that they could base it off of. I think there's definitely a lot of good, fragrances out there that would be great. I would love to see a gardenia perfume fragrance. I would absolutely love that. I think that would do so well, but I think we need a new signature line fragrance that's not a berry, it's not a vanilla, and it's not a tomato or something really, really out there. So those are my wish list items. That's what I think that we can expect in January of 26 at Bath & Body Works. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. A lot of these are kind of spoilers, so I don't want to say like this is exactly what's happening, but this is just like my Bath & Body Works YouTuber and Bath & Body Works connoisseur intuition. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Does any of this excite you? Is any of this like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this again? Let me know your feelings and thoughts in the comments down below, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.